Sound.
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 Sound. Sound. Sound.
Founding sound.
Andrew Pahl Dawayu, Tim Sienu, Ganhada Deepadegu, Bonnie Delori Wastanoyu, Henry Paul Wadi Nagwadu, Clachgil de Will Watgu, Lands a Dip Sagayat Hakalalsam, Sami Hwalsam, Sagayat Klungot, Sagayat Klungot, Tulukit Nusum, Simsipin Tutnusum. Andrew Pahl is my name, Raven is my crest. I am Tim Shean. My mother is Bonnie Delori, my father is Henry Pahl. Hartley Bay is where I come from, British Columbia. I call it the Promised Land because Mother Nature's given us everything that we've needed as a people for thousands and thousands of years. And our family bloodline is the Pauls, my last name. The part that really resonates with me is let's work together. That's one thing I said in there as well. And after I said let's work together, the people in my community, the elders there, whenever they share, they always say, we are of one heart. And that is Sakayat Klungot. That means we are of one heart. And I've believed that for most of my life, hearing it a lot, right? And the last part was thank you all and I love you very much. That is the traditional way of introducing myself, and I've introduced myself like that for probably the last 6 or 7 years, just reconnecting with my culture and learning the language from my little brother, Saltwater Hank, Jeremy Pahl. And I have 2 daughters as well, Corbin Riley Pahl and Georgia Grace Robinson. It's also called in our cultural ways, in our traditional ways, to introduce yourself and your parents and even your grandparents if people, and also you introduce your children as well. That way there, if somebody doesn't know who I am, they might know my father or my mother or my grandparents or my children, and they can say, oh yeah, we know his father. His father's a good man, so he must be like his father. And that's how it goes. That's how it's always gone. So whenever you're introducing ourselves, we always introduce our parents and our children and our grandparents. My grandpa's John Pahl, and my grandmother's Maisie Pahl. That I hold that dear to my heart as an Indigenous man. As far back as I can remember, I connected to music all growing up through high school, everything. I used to play around with it a little bit, and then moving into my early 20s, it's always been such a huge part of my life. I've leaned to it to help me heal in so many ways. Music has helped me heal in so many ways. It's been such a vital part of my life. And it wasn't until I was 42 years old that I put my first album out. And I used to do a lot of open mics and stuff like that, but never actually created any of my own music until I was 42. Till I was 42, that was my first album. 7 years prior to that, I had a friend who kind of got me back into music. His name's Benjamin Russell, and I know he would be okay with me sharing his name. He lit the fire for me. We did a couple of tracks on GarageBand on his iPhone, and what we created was magical. This connection that we shared through the sound that we brought up was nothing short of magical. Me and him just, and I'm getting goosebumps right now because, and now our first album that we put out, and my daughter, Bachbogam Gemk, she's our lead singer. So not only are we sharing in culture, because we have a lot of music in our culture as well, but we get to share it in our family as well. So I think there's something that merits a lot of profound respect to be able to share the gift. It's to share our gifts that we have with me and my daughter. And my 12-year-old Georgia Grace, she's got a voice on her too, and she's she's up and coming. I actually put her on we put her on the first album. She did a couple of ad libs, and she was a natural in the studio. She just took right to it. We've had many opportunities in our life to share those gifts, right? And I think I'd be doing a heavy disservice to my soul and my spirit if I didn't honor that. So I think, like I said, to go back to my ancestors and the Creator, I think they were just making sure I was mature enough. I don't think I would have made it if I was involved in music back when I was a little bit younger. Yeah.
Nice.
And now we have a band because I love live music. Our first album we put out is a hip hop album, and I don't know if you'd think that if you saw our band live, that it has more of like a funk jazz kind of flair to it is how I feel. And we were graced with a lead guitar player, and that was kind of the last piece, so to speak, sound wise to complete the vision I had, because I did have a vision the whole time. It was live music. There's just something about people and how the talent that so many people hold, the gifts that they have, they're sharing them with me. And I'm so grateful for that, because it allows me, the more that people create around me, it allows me to be more creative. And I literally feel like I'm living a dream. I feel like I'm living my dream. And it's cool because I know what my dream is, and it's my dream, right? And I always encourage people to be careful who you share your dreams with, because some people don't dream, and it can be sort of an apathetic thing, right? So I try to keep them here and share them with just very select few, so that when they do come to fruition, we later realize that it was just manifestation of our thought process that has landed us where we are. And even here now, I'm just very grateful for the space I'm in and the Nanaimo territory, allowing us to reside and play and laugh and love, and the Coast Salish people have accepted me with open arms, my family, and helped me become who I am today. And music has played a massive role in that. And then our band is called Catch-22 Music. Our group is called Catch-22, and our band is called Abandonment Issues. And I thought that was kind of fun, because I think we all kind of have a little bit of fear of losing people, right? I thought of that. I thought of that a lot, actually, in the last couple of years. It's not gonna ever be the things that like I wish I had a better car, or when we're looking back at our lives one day, because it happens to all of us. I don't think we're ever going to look back and think, man, I wish I had a nicer car, or more money, or a better place, or any of those material things. I think it's going to be, man, I wish I spent more time doing what I love. And I don't want to look back and feel that. I don't want to look back and regret not following my true passion. And I think that merits a lot of strength as well, to actually pursue music, because it's expensive. It's really expensive. And everything that we do involving music, there's a cost, whether it's time or money or effort or whatever. But there's a real juggling act in the balance of things to try to make things amicable and work, right? But I have a lot of admiration for people who follow their passion. I think, and I feel that it would be not okay to not encourage others who do the same, who follow their passion in what they do, regardless of what it is, or what my opinion on how it sounds, or any of that stuff. It's just the fact of the matter that they're following their heart. And I think that has a lot of power in and of itself, right? Now I think about culture and sound, the beat of the drum. When we go to the sweat lodge, the beat of the drum grounds us, puts our feet back on Mother Earth. It aligns with our heartbeat. That's the whole point of the drum, is to align with our heart chakra so we can wake up our spirit. And that I've been on the healing journey about 13 years now. And on the other side of the fence, I wasn't the greatest person, and that's okay. I am now. I'm a lot better person than I was back then. I'm here for my kids. And that's my main focus, is making sure they're okay. And making music together just makes everything that much more okay. It's just a love that we all share. But the culture side of things, everything is sound. There's sounds that, I have a Raven song, it's called the Gitga'at song, and that's Raven in my language. Samaliach is our language. And it's to aid grief. And I don't speak Samaliach in the song. It's just sound. And those sounds unlock your spirit so that you can grieve. And that's a lot of what First Nations culture is about. Those sounds are what aid our grief and what aid the healing process. And I firmly believe with all my heart that sound affects mood. I can put on a song right now and get depressed almost instantly. I mean, Love Hurts, right? You know the song Love Hurts? I mean, I listen to that and I want to cry. I don't think it has much to do with my emotional state. I think it has more to do with the sound frequency in which that song is made, right? So I think there's a broad connection between our heart and sound. Mm-hmm.
Nicole Monasterio of Monasterio Sound Healing has been practicing sound therapy for over a decade and attended the California Institute of Integral Studies. She was inspired to follow the sound working path after losing 2 close family members and discovering that drumming was helping her through grief.
So I see sound healing and sound therapies as a very integral part of our experience as humans, because I think the goal is to always create peace and harmony within. And the only way that we can really do that is to create a coherence within our body. And so because our body is made up of many different systems, we have to be able to bring a balance and a harmony to all of those systems so that they are working together. And sound therapy, sound healing, is a very effective modality to do that. So I specifically use the drum, and the drum takes us to altered states of consciousness. It's a very effective tool to take us to different places. And sometimes we need to go there so we can receive the messages that our higher self is trying to share with us. So what I see the most in my clients is an emergence of emotion. So often crying, anger, releasing fear and anxiety, those kinds of things. Also very helpful for depression as a steady practice, a daily practice. Humming is incredible for anxiety. It's one of my favorite methods to teach people because it's something that anybody can do. There's only 2 requirements to hum. You have to have a clear nasal passage and a working larynx. But humming belongs to no specific culture. It's a human sound. And humming does so much to us on a physiological level. It releases nitric oxide, which is a very powerful gas molecule. When we hum, we're not only doing something to create balance and harmony, to feel good, but we're also doing some really pretty incredible things on a physiological level. So my goal as a sound healer in the modern world was to bring something that was accessible and relatable to people who have grown up here in the Western world, in North America specifically. And so I was feeling a disconnect when I was teaching chanting because I don't speak the language. I've never stepped foot in the country that I was teaching about the Bondoshan teachings of the Tibetan monks. So I really began focusing on vocal vocal toning and humming. And then I began learning about the physiological effects that humming has on our body. What I like about humming is we're actually trapping the sound within our body so we can control the vibration and the resonance where it goes. The theory is that when we are creating that vibration and resonance within our body, we are able to create a coherence with all of our systems. And so then our energetic field becomes bigger because we are vibrating in a coherence. So my goal is to bring to the Western world the largest group sound healing sessions. And so what that would look like is at these big, huge music festivals, the rave scene, the rave culture. I'm a 90s child, so the rave culture has been part of my life for a very long time. But the reason I keep going back is because of the culture. Growing up in a place where I felt very culturalist, I experienced a lot of culture at these events through art, community, dancing, music, self-expression, love. So it's the place that I go back to feel wellness and connected to people. And the music keeps me going back. I like the deep bass lines, the heavy use of bass and sub-bass. And so sub-bass creates that great vibration where it feels like your entire body is vibrating. The bass we hear more. But my theory is that when we hum alongside with the bass in a large group setting, that we will create some sort of energetic force field, sort of like the movie Avatar, when everyone is exchanging energy. And based on the principles of how sound interacts with itself through resonance and entrainment, I think that we would do some really powerful things. So the goal would be to share our bliss with the collective consciousness. So when we are in these large group settings, listening to music that we all love, or we're all experiencing consonance through the sound of the music, we all love it, we're there because we love it. Now with our intention, we're sharing our sounds with the collective consciousness to shift the frequencies. And I always tell people that this instrument saved my life because in the grief of losing my sister to choosing to unlive and watching our father die from a broken heart and being stuck in addiction because of his broken heart. And my grief was so strong, and I felt the only way that I could stay connected to them was through the drum, and they were both drummers. And I all of a sudden could play rhythms that I had never spent a day practicing in my life. I could feel their rhythms coming through me, and I could hear them through this drum. So this drum literally saved my life. This was like my medicine, you know? And it sounds so bright. The harmonics and the overtones can be heard because the skin is very thin, whereas this, it has a deeper sound. This is a thick bison, a thicker skin. This is very thin. So you get that bright, full sound.
Someone else who knows the importance and power of drumming is Dave McGrath.
Most people around here know me as Voodoo Dave. I'm a local drummer, drum maker, drum facilitator. I've been at it for about 30 years. I first discovered the drum when I was living in Mexico. And I went to a party one night, and there were these drum makers. They showed up, and I'd never even seen a djembe before. Knew what it was, and put one in my lap, played all night, just couldn't get over it. I was hooked immediately. I decided that that's what I was going to do. So since then, I learned how to make drums. I've traveled the world studying, playing, and here I am in Nanaimo, talking to you, Laura. Yeah, I make drums with local wood. I have a workshop, my place on Mudge Island. I source basically the woods off of Mudge, which is mostly alder, maple, a bit of arbutus. I mill it up, let it cure for a few years, and then I cut them up into little pieces and glue them all together and make shapes and shape them into drums. It's called stave construction. I find the wood very stable that way. I have carved drums too, that's the more traditional way. It takes a lot longer, and then the wood tends to move a lot and sometimes crack. But I found I've got a pretty good system now, and works well. And then, you know, I stretch the skins over it, and takes a while. It takes about, I don't know, all in all, maybe 20 hours total in different stages to make a drum. I got into teaching drumming because when I first moved back to Nanaimo from my travels, I really wanted to get into, see what was going on with the local drum scene, if there was one. I found a very small group, and we'd get together maybe once a week, but you know, it wasn't really enough for me. I really was hungry, so I moved over to Vancouver and spent a few years there and got to know a lot of really great drummers, good, you know, professional drummers, and some of them let me play with them, and I kind of got into the scene that way and started performing. And but you know, the city's life's not really, I'm not really cut out. I like smaller towns. So I came back and I just started to teach, see who was interested, and I just really liked the community, that bringing people together. There was people from all walks of life would be interested in drumming. So it was really cool just sitting in a room with most people that seem much smarter than me, you know. Yeah, just finding this language that we could all come together on and relate. I really like that whole idea. And you know, at the end of an hour and a half class, everybody's much more relaxed and connected and happy, and it just really feels good. I just love that whole community building, and I'd say that's pretty healthy. There's lots of good health benefits, apparently. Like, there's been studies made, really good for the brain. It's great for, even personally, I know it's good because, you know, I've struggled with depression in times, and it's really helped with that. And just the, you know, if you're feeling down and you get together with a bunch of people and you don't have to talk, you just play, and it just really lifts your spirits. And I'm really fortunate that I can do that, and that I've been able to bring it back to this community. It's sort of like, what's that saying? Be the change you want to see. I kind of like, that's sort of what I like to do, is be the change. One of my first teachers in Vancouver, a great drummer, is from Nigeria. His name was Kwasi. And I always remember that he said that there's no room for bad energy in a drum circle. He says, you know, two things happen, you know, you're playing, it's like you're gonna sit down, you're gonna hear the drums, you're gonna sit down and play, or you're gonna go away. It's, you know, if you're not feeling it, you're not gonna stick around. So it really, it has this great positive vibe to it, and it's infectious. And it, you know, when we're playing in the park, I like to do like drum circles in the park all the time. In the summer, not in the winter. I'm playing away, and I'll watch as people get close to the circle, they just start moving. They're walking by, and all of a sudden they're like, they're moving to the rhythm, right? And you know, some of them will stop and check it out, and others will just walk on by, but it's just funny to watch how they lighten up, you know, just around the drums. Occasionally, not very often, I can think of 2 times in all the years that I've had negative. You know, one guy just kind of showed up and he just stood there and scowled, and then he walked away, and I was like, well, that's fine, don't need that. He just left. Yeah, no, but it's all really, yeah, really positive, good energy, good. It's got to be healing, that kind of feeling, you know.